Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna, and Awaken to Hair Growth. Today, we are talking about children and alopecia and how this healing works and how we can heal our children. It's quite astonishing the amount of parents who reach out to me having children under the age of 18, right? Some people reach out when their child is 25, and that's okay. And they all have alopecia. And the statistics are very similar to those in adults. It's around 80% women and around 10 to 15, 20% in boys. So those statistics hold true even for children. And the interesting part of this is that I have had the honor to help so many families heal and reverse alopecia, not just the adults, but then also the children as well. And sometimes even the parents have autoimmune diseases. Sometimes even the parents have other ancillary situations like eczema or psoriasis, or maybe joint pain, or maybe just migraines and headaches, or maybe just a feeling of fatigue. And the beautiful part about the Hair and Heal program is that when it comes to children, especially, I encourage the parents, the siblings, the whole family, whoever lives in the house, for the whole family to do the program together. This way, the child is supported 100%. This way, the child doesn't feel isolated. This way, the child is 100% supported, 100% feeling normal, not isolated, and just sees that everyone is living, eating, everything the same as they are. And this is the key takeaway, because when the child, regardless of the age, sees that mom, dad, whoever else lives in the house, whether that's grandparents or other brothers and sisters, if everyone's eating the same thing, if everyone's doing, living, acting, doing the same things together, all the activities, then the whole house improves and grows and gets healthy together. But then at the same time, they just feel and know and think that it's normal. And that's the way it should be. Getting healthy doesn't have to mean feeling like you're missing out on stuff, feeling like you're missing out on your childhood. Not at all. Just the opposite. It means living your best life and thriving, because as a parent, I know this. When I'm feeling 100%, I can give 100% to my spouse, to my child, to my work, to my activities, to working out, to everything else that goes along in my day-to-day life. But if I'm feeling sluggish, or if I'm still nursing this cold that I have, then the situation changes. I'm less patient and I'm not feeling so great. And there's a trickle down effect to how we feel and to how we show up in life. And then, so when it comes to healing children with alopecia, I've had the experience of healing 1-year-olds, children who are still nursing, actually, breastfeeding, all the way through 18. And of course, some parents and even grandparents have even reached out to me wanting to talk about their 25-year-old or their 23-year-old or the 22-year-old. And I get it. The 20-year-olds are still your children. They will always be your children. But at a certain point, they need to want this more than you. And so as the parent, we can want the world for our children. But when the child is now an adult, they need to have the want and the desire to heal, because the want and the desire is the first thing. If you don't want or desire to heal, you're never going to heal. It's just that way. If you don't want or desire to visit a certain country or to do a marathon or to learn how to cook or to learn how to snowboard, then you're never going to want to do it. Am I right? So what's the difference between healing alopecia or taking a trip somewhere to a new country or doing some new activity? You have to want and desire. That's where that comes from first. And so if your 22-year-old or your 25-year-old has no desire, you can't force a horse to drink water. You can only lead them there. And I know this is hard for parents. It's very difficult. I can see how this would be very challenging for many parents, but all you can do is provide the information. All you can do is provide the support. And maybe timing is part of that. So for example, even recently, I've had people in my program who were college students, who lived in a dorm, who had to deal with cafeteria food and all the other activities that go along with college life. And they were still able to do the program, and they were still able to see hair growth, and they were still able to see success. So it's possible. It's possible to do it in a dorm. It's possible to do it in college. It's possible to do it at a regular school. If your child is in elementary school or in high school, it's possible, but the will and the desire need to be there, and also the support. And this is where I encourage the parents to take the reins, take the lead, and to instill the support and to instill kind of like this new paradigm, this new possibility, this new opportunity for their children. For those of you with children, let's say under the age of like 8 or 9, where the children are still doing what you ask them to do and are still kind of going with the flow, then, that's also a very wonderful time to heal as well, because healing is of the essence. I cannot say how many emails I receive with adults talking about their children or adults talking about themselves, where they had one episode of alopecia and they let it go. They had a second episode of alopecia, and maybe they got the injections, or maybe they got the steroids, or maybe they used the creams and they let it go. Then they got a third episode or a fourth or a fifth episode. And now this time it's the worst ever. And this time they're just seeing horrendous hair loss. And now they're scared. And now they're taking action towards a holistic approach, because now they're seeing that letting it go and doing nothing doesn't work. Letting it go and maybe taking the medications also doesn't work. And so the last option is the natural option for some reason. And I fell into this trap as well, but it works. The natural option, the holistic option, is the only option. It's the best option for quick healing, for getting over the hump of the hair loss and getting the results you want, which is reversing alopecia, because this is possible. We can reverse this in our children. We can reverse this in ourselves as adults. We can reverse this, but the desire needs to be there, as I mentioned before. So with your older teens, or maybe with your 20-year-old child, they need to have the buy-in. They need to want this as much as you do. And there are ways to help and support them. There are ways to get them off the ledge. And I will say that as much as you think as a parent, right? As much as you think that your child is happy and doesn't care about hair loss and is very gung-ho and extrovert and doing great in school, and hair loss doesn't bother them, I would still say be mindful, be very mindful, and be very watchful of them, because deep down, potentially you don't know what feelings they are harboring. Deep down, this could be affecting them in more than one way. And more than likely it is, because even as an adult, as I mentioned before, I was going through alopecia, and I didn't realize that all these other symptoms were correlated. I didn't know that all these other symptoms, whether it was digestive or brain fog or fatigue or the dryness or anything else that was going on, I didn't realize that it was all connected. And so I can only imagine that as a child, they don't have the vocabulary, nor do they have the self-awareness to be able to express this. And so this is part of that puzzle piece when it comes to healing. But I will say for the parents who do the program, they see results, they see answers. And this is key. Getting answers and getting results is so key. And it gives you peace of mind. It gives you peace of mind that your child is on the right path, that your child is doing better. And the steps that you're taking are only moving you forward. They're only propelling you forward, not going backwards. And so that's another key takeaway. In terms of kids doing the program, it's a beautiful thing to see them, because what I hear from my clients is that their behavior changes. They become more cooperative. They become more obedient. They become more calm. They sleep better. They are less restless. They are doing better in school. They are more attentive. They are fully functioning. Whether that's their performance in sports has also improved due to the program. I have many athletes actually who do my program. I'm not just saying doing a little bit of basketball every year with the class as a season. I'm talking about hardcore athletes who are in Division I schools, Division II, Division III, who are professional athletes actually. And they play basketball and they play track and they run and, they're ballerinas and they do dance on a competitive level. I've had athletes do my program, and I consider ballerinas and dancers athletes as well, because they are doing consistent workouts consistent body conditioning, consistent exercise for more than 2, 3, 4 hours a day. That takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of energy. So imagine being 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or being in college and being a professional athlete, and then your performance getting better because you're healing, because you have more energy, because everything is connected and you're healing all at once. And so you are going to see improvements on every area of life, in every area of life, whether you're the athlete, the non-athlete, or even just the smart kid who loves to be in the books. So if you have a smart kid who's a brainiac and just wants to be in the books, that's great too. But guess what? Studying takes a lot of energy out of you. It wipes you clear. And this is why, to be able to fuel the brain, to be able to fuel your body, it's all necessary to look at all aspects of health. And so alopecia is the signal. It's the alarm that's going off, that something's off kilter, that something is not in balance. And we need to put your child back in balance. And so it's necessary to look at this with a sense of urgency instead of letting it wait. And regardless of whether your child has alopecia universalis or areata or totalis or another type of alopecia, this can all be healed and reversed. It really can be. And their childhood won't be taken away. They will still be able to indulge. They will still be able to do the things they love and crave, but feeling better, feeling at 100%, feeling empowered, feeling confident with higher self-esteem. And the thing is, it's like, you don't know how good you can feel until you feel bad. So right now, as I'm dealing with this cold, sore throat situation, I feel pretty bad. The fatigue is there. It's not COVID, promise you. I already had COVID, but it's still like lingering and it's annoying and it's disruptive. And so imagine feeling not at your best and still having to go to school and still having to do finals and still having to perform, whether that's in gymnastics or track or in basketball or anywhere else that you have all these extracurricular sports, or even for the musicians. I've had customers and clients who their kids play the cello or they play the violin or the piano. All this takes effort, physically, mentally. It all takes effort. And so imagine the energy that you are exerting is not going to be 100%. And I know as parents, you want your child to perform and do their best. And they can only do that once they heal. They can only do that once they're charged up at 100%, just like your phone. In order for it to last all day, it needs to be charged all night, right? So that you can use it. But if you wake up and it's at 50%, so guess what? It's only going to last maybe halfway through the day or less. So then you're going to be at a disadvantage. And that's the way we're operating when we have alopecia. We're operating at a less than optimal space. We're operating at a less than fully charged mode. We're operating less than the 100% that we have the possibility to give and have the possibility to provide, but we can't because it's not there. Just like I can't give 100% right now because of my sore throat, because of this cold. So in certain areas of life, it falters, right? And we don't want that to happen, especially now that they're developing. This is very key. We want them to develop. We want them to get healthy and to be their best, right? We don't want them to have this lingering cold or this lingering situation with alopecia. So in terms of healing, take heart. Healing is possible for children, just like it is for adults, children of all ages. And even if your baby is only breastfeeding, there's still ways to have your baby heal because the breast milk is coming from you. So in this way, it would be in conjunction with your participation. And the parents' participation is of utmost importance. With adults, I know it's a little bit different because everyone has their own living situation. But the key for everybody is you want to have the desire to heal. If there's no desire, it's going to be really hard to force the horse to drink water. So the desire needs to be there. The support needs to be there. And again, I encourage the whole family to take part. And many times there's children who do the program with their parents and they have another sibling. And maybe the other sibling has eczema or psoriasis or something else going on, or maybe they have allergies. And like I mentioned before with the parents, sometimes the parents have ancillary situations too. Maybe not necessarily hair loss, but maybe they're also going through another situation where their health isn't at their best. They end up doing the program with their child and the whole house gets healthy. And that's what I love to see. I love to see not just the child with alopecia thrive, but then also the whole house get healthy.
And it's a huge game changer. And I will say that on multiple occasions, I've had testimonials and clients tell me that the program is life-changing. And actually, I just had a client tell me this multiple times, and her testimonial is online on my YouTube channel. The thing is like, she was the only one who did it. She is encouraging her children to do it. She did it for herself. She wanted her husband to do it with her. Her husband doesn't want to do it. But at the same time, again, it's like once you start glowing, once you start reaping the benefits, then more and more people are going to want to feel and glow and be just like you. And so in order to be the change, we actually have to be the change first. And so I'll leave you with that to be the change that we want to see in the world, we have to be the change. We need to be our best. And it is possible. You don't have to live with lingering aches and pains. You don't have to think that hair loss is a subcategory or an ancillary effect of aging, because it's not. You don't have to believe that, you're just going old or growing old and this is part of it. No, you can be at your optimal. You can be at your best. You can be at 100% full functioning without the aches and pains, without the joint pain, without the flare-ups, without the vicious cycles, without so many of these other things. If only we take inventory and take the steps to heal. Healing is possible and it's available to everybody. And that's the best part, because when you're ready, it's available. When you're ready, it's there. If you let it prolong, it'll only get worse. So it's really up to you. It's your choice to heal now and put this behind you. And once you do put alopecia behind you, it'll be like, oh, it was just temporary illness. I got over that and I'm done and I'm moving forward. Because that's really how I see it today. I see alopecia of my past as a situation where, yes, I was sick. Yes, I healed. I got better. And now I have nothing to worry about. And now I already know what to do in order to be healthy and to be hairy and to have my hair to keep growing, and for alopecia to be put to sleep, for alopecia to become dormant once again. And this is possible. This is possible for everyone. Thank you for listening. I look forward to speaking to you in the next podcast episode. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.